Naturally, people are often grateful for the good things, but true gratitude is being grateful for everything. Be thankful for the hard times. Be thankful for what it took for you to become who you are today. Be thankful for everything. And that may be hard because trust me, I know it can be. It can be hard to feel thankful for the challenges that we've had to go through. But if you didn't go through that, you wouldn't be the person you are today. Get your notebooks. This is going to be a good one. So, as I said at the start of this video, what we're going to be talking about today is gratitude. Thanksgiving just passed, so a lot of people are celebrating, enjoy your turkey, being with the family, things like that. And a lot of the most common things people are thankful for, obviously, would be family, food, community, a roof over their head. And these are all great things, be grateful for that. But what I really want to talk about today is how you need to learn to be grateful for the things you've overcome. You need to be grateful for the challenges because let's say a sword is metal. But to make the sword to have this sharp blade, you have to dig it up out the ground. You had to hammer it. You had to put it through the fire. And that fire removed the impurities and it tests you. And it's difficult. It's hard. But to have a great life, you had to go through some pretty challenging things. You know, I'm not going to get into the full story right now, but if you guys would like to hear it, the first link in the description is going to be a speech I gave where I go into things about my childhood, growing up, feeling like nobody really cared about me, not having friends, the whole 9 yards of my life. And I was thinking earlier today about how, had I not gone through everything that I did, would it be who I am today? And I asked myself, well, Lawrence, would you have wanted an easier life? No, I wouldn't. Would you want to have to relive all of that? No, I would not. But I'm grateful that I did. It sounds kind of weird to be grateful that you got kicked out when you were 13. It sounds pretty weird to be grateful for that. But it taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about how to pick myself back up when life knocks me down. It taught me a lot about how to believe in myself when I felt like other people didn't. It taught me a lot about how to understand that just because someone else might not see your worth doesn't mean that it's not there. It taught me a lot. And then I asked myself, well, Lawrence, would you be thankful for that? Yes. Strangely enough, I'm really thankful that, and I'm not saying that my life was the hardest, obviously. I'm sure there are people who had it worse, but I'm thankful for everything because had I not gone through everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I wouldn't be in this office. I wouldn't be talking to this camera. I wouldn't be traveling the country getting paid to speak. I wouldn't be a multi award winning author. I got one book right here. Get that on my website. Got another one. You can find the link for those below. I wouldn't be coaching people. You can find the link for that below. And I wouldn't be living a life that I'm proud of. And yesterday I was, eating food and my family asked me, well, Lawrence, what are you thankful for? And it took me like 5 minutes to think because it's not that there isn't a lot of things I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for a lot. But to give an answer to that question, the only thing I could express was I'm thankful for my life. I'm thankful for all of it. The time when I feel frustrated, I'm thankful for that. The times when things might not go perfectly in my business, I'm thankful for that. The times growing up when things were hard, I'm thankful for that. The time getting bullied, I'm thankful for that. The time getting kicked out the house, I'm thankful for that. I am thankful for all the good and all the bad. And on the deepest of levels, you have to realize that good and bad is just how we look at a situation. Your worst day is somebody else's best day, and somebody else's best day is your worst day. It's all about how you choose to perceive the situation. So, the first piece of actionable advice I want to give you is when you have a challenge in your life, instead of saying, oh my gosh, this sucks so bad, ask yourself, how can this serve me? How can I turn this lemon into lemonade? How can I turn lemonade into a lemon pie? I hope you guys got what I was going for there. How can you turn something that is sour and sucks into something sweet? And working out is a good example of this. In order to build muscle or lose weight, you have to push yourself. You have to overcome the challenge. You have to sweat. You have to get down and dirty. You got to grit your teeth. You have to do things that you're not used to become someone that you haven't been. And our challenges teach us a lot more than our blessings ever will. Because it is Luke 10:16, I believe. He who is faithful in little is faithful in much. So if you can't be grateful and glad for the little things, you're not going to be able to handle the big things. Let's say you wanted to run a $1 million business, right? You want to have a business that makes $1 million a year. Are you ready to deal with $1 million problems? Ask yourself that. Because if you're not ready to deal with $1 million problems, you can't have $1 million results. It's like good and bad. The more good, the more bad has to exist. And you can't even judge them because they're the same thing. They're just different sides of the same coin. And when I think to myself about this, something that comes up a lot is how as my business is growing and I'm having bigger opportunities and I'm traveling more and I'm getting paid more and life is good. There's also things that are coming up for me, such as people like suddenly not responding, contracts that I thought were going to go right and then they don't. I'm having to manage all these different softwares and people and problems that I wasn't dealing with before. And this is stressful. However, I look at this and I ask myself, well, how can I make this problem into a good thing? Because it's simply pushing me to a higher level. In order to have more, you must go through more. In order to have bigger muscles, you must work out harder. In order to have higher grades, you must study more. In order to have more, you must do more. But then you also have to look at how sometimes it's not that we need to always do more. Sometimes we need to just be more effective in what we do. So, man, sometimes I hear myself talking and I'm just like, the people who watch my videos, I go on so many different subjects throughout the videos. But back to the point, sometimes you just have to be more effective in what you do. Like these videos, they're very free flowing. I go in with a central subject, like the big subject of being thankful, and then we just flow with it. And wherever my mind goes is where my mind goes. So, in the process of making these videos, one of the things that comes up a lot is seeing how everything is so interconnected and that to be grateful for one thing, you also have to be grateful for its opposite. I want to speak at a lot more schools, so that means I have to send a lot more emails, and naturally that comes with problems like I have to deal with more people saying no, more people not responding, more people just ghosting. But in order to have the responses and the good, I must deal with the bad. And when you just stop holding on to it so hardly, well, when you stop holding on to it so with such a tight grip, Like, it's okay to want the good, but when you need the good, then it becomes a problem because you're overly attached to it. This is what I meant at the start by you have to be thankful for the bad because to have the good requires the bad. And to overcome the bad is what leads you to the good. If you were to try and cook a turkey, right? To cook a turkey, you have to gut it, you have to get dirty, you have to take all the feathers off and the skin and do all that, and then cook it for like 8 hours and it's in the heat. But at the end, you have this delicious meal. So, in order to have the life you want, you have to go through the process. And the process looks different for everyone, but it's not going to always be easy, trust me. You know, and the beautiful thing is that as you become better at whatever your thing is, like it could be working out. As you become stronger and you lift heavier weights, the weight that when you first started with that was impossible is easy now. So your definition of bad and hard is better than it was at the start. Like when I first started working out, lifting the 30-pound barbell, I meant 30-pound dumbbells, was impossible. Like I just couldn't do it. But now it is really easy for me. So the 50-pound dumbbell feels impossible for me, but the 30-pound is easy. But at the start, the 30-pound was impossible. So throughout your life, you're going to realize that the thing that is easy for you now was impossible at the start. And that's something to be grateful for. Be grateful for how much you've grown. Be grateful for how much you've overcome. Be grateful for who you are and forgive yourself for who you were. Be grateful for the life you have. Be grateful for the little things because your best day is somebody, man, your worst day is somebody else's best day. Your worst day is someone else's best day. And the simplest things like you have two eyes, you're not deaf, you're able to talk, you have all your fingers, you have a roof, you have food, you have friends, family. You have a car. You have a job. The simple things. You have a phone. The simple things are things you can be thankful for because not everybody is a millionaire. I'm not currently. Not everybody is driving a Benz. Not everybody is 6'7" and has biceps the size of your head and all this stuff. That's not everybody's life. It's actually the vast majority of people, that's not their life. And you have to be grateful for what you have and stop being so worried about what the next person has. You know, it's like you're fishing and you can't catch any fish if you're so worried about what's on the next man's line. You can't eat if you're so worried about what's on somebody else's plate. You can't grow if you're so worried about someone else. You can't grow your business if you're minding somebody else's. Mind your business to grow your business. Focus on your line to catch your fish. Focus on your plate to eat your food. But the issue is that in life, we're so taught to focus on everyone and everything else. Like, I need to have the fastest car. I need to have the biggest house. I need to have the most beautiful girlfriend or wife. I need to have this. I need to have that. And it's nothing wrong with having these things. But the problem is that why? Like, why do you want it? Do you really want a penthouse and a Lamborghini and 5 cars and a yacht? Or do you just wanna look cool to other people? And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with wanting to look cool to other people, but you gotta be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself about why do you really want the thing that you claim to want. And if you can't be thankful for the simple things, you can't be thankful for the big things because the simple things are how you get to the big things. And you have to be thankful too for the work. Be thankful for the work that it takes. Be thankful for the process. Like for me in my business, I send a lot of emails and I talk about this a lot. I've realized that recently I've been getting better at sending them. Like it's been a lot easier for me to do it because I've been telling myself it is such a blessing that I get to send these emails. I am so grateful that I get to send these emails. And it became easier for me to do it because now I stopped seeing it as I have to do this thing and this thing is a burden and this thing is annoying. But instead, I start to see it as this thing is a step in the process. And I am thankful for the process. I'm thankful for everything. I'm thankful for the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm thankful for the days when I wake up and I want to. I'm thankful for the days when I wake up and I don't want to. I'm thankful for the moments when it is hard. I'm thankful for the moments when it is easy. Because if I can do it when it is hard, it'll be very easy to do when it is easy. If I can go to the gym when I don't feel like it, it'll be very easy to do it when I do feel like it. And one of the easiest ways to start to feel like it is do it until you feel like it. Because artists, for some reason, this just popped into my head. There are a lot of people who are good artists, like you're good at making art. But then there's people who are great at being art. Good artists make art when they feel like it. Great artists make art until they feel like it. And then to say that a good artist will wait until they have an idea and then they start to make the idea when they feel like it. They're like, yeah, I'm going to start working on this. Whereas a great artist will sit down with the canvas and just start scribbling lines until something starts to work. A great author will just write until it makes sense. Whereas a good author writes when it makes sense. So, if you want to be good, do it when you feel like it. If you want to be great, do it regardless. Be grateful for everything. You know, it feels like that's all I've got for you guys today. So I'm going to leave you with this. Be grateful for everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the ups, the downs, the ins, and the outs. Because on the other side of all the challenges is the life that you want. And in order to be who you are today, you had to go through what you went through. To live the life that you have now, you have to have lived the life that you previously lived. And with that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful and lovely day. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, you can find my books and one on one coaching in the description. And if you have any podcast host, school principal, or run a youth focused organization, you can contact me at lawrence@lawrenceharris.com for speaking engagements and podcast bookings. Have a lovely day.